you want to phone it in or you want me to? How long are you?
Let's do it for 12 just in case.
So where's the number to call?
Right.
And this is our account number, right? Yeah, our boss told us to take like meticulous notes, so I'm just gonna record it.
No problem.
I guess we'll take the whole system on. Hi, I'm calling from account number UL6709. That's correct. We want to take our system offline until noon. It's James.
Programming. Password is 5 ones. Just acknowledge. And then disable. And then zone. Z. And 5. Enter. Disable. So, next selection. Enter. That's it. Just acknowledge. And then let's see, does it have anything else? Right, nope, that's it. Actually, then just hit escape 5 times. Right above enter again. There you go.
Cool.
And then you just make sure that it's all off. There you go. Set the spells, booster triggers. Your alternate recall, primary recall, your ventilation shutdowns, number 1 and 2. That's it.
Cool.
All right. Let's go downstairs. Got some laundry going on.
Oh yeah, the janitor.
Nice, yeah, nice.
Stuff in there.
Alrighty, so first thing we gotta do is check our directional flow of the fire pump. So we look at it, our discharge valve is that one right here. So the water comes in from the city, comes around, goes down this way to the fire pump, and goes up to the building. This is called a flow meter loop. Right, this is how we test the fire pump flow. This is called the fire pump bypass. So we still have water in case the fire pump does not turn on. You still have water in the building. Alright, you do have a jockey pump. There's your jockey pump controller. On these controllers, we do 2 tests. We do a manual test to just start it, make sure that it starts, and then we do a pressure drop test to test it automatically on both. We just write down the pressures, what they are. They start. Usually you don't have a. This one doesn't have an automatic bus transfer, which means that if you have a generator in the building, it'll still send power to the fire pump in case of emergency. Say you have a power outage or whatever, your automatic bus transfer would search for a power source, which you don't have one here.
Right.
So in case the power goes down, I'm pretty sure your generators automatically feed this panel.
We
a
don't have any
You have a generator here? Oh,
Yeah.
okay, so you don't have emergency power.
No.
Yeah.
Alright. And that's basically it. This is our fire pump on and off. Fire pump start and stop. There's a difference. On means, of course, you have power. Start means you turn the fire pump on, and stop means fire pump stop. This is your emergency run right here, in case anything, any of the components fail. So what this does is it bypass all the components and sends power directly to the fire pump. But when you activate it, you gotta hold it while it's running.
Okay.
When you come in here, you check.
So it's like spring loaded. As soon as you let go,
no,
it'll
it's
turn
not even
off.
spring loaded. It's just
It'll just drop.
Yeah, it'll just
Okay.
drop. When you check your valve alignment, making sure the valves are all aligned correctly, you're looking for is making sure your city is open. This is your main valve. Your bypass is open. See how they check the alignment. Your test loop is closed. These are closed. And your fire pump discharge is open. All right, that's on your main fire pump. And you also have to make sure that you have power available. That's very important, because if that light is not on, two things: either the light bulb is bad, or you have no power to the fire pump. On the jockey pump, you're actually doing the exact same thing, but there's no light on here. You gotta make sure that the jockey pump is in auto, right there, and then you check your valve alignment on the jockey pump, which is that one down there. So you gotta make sure that your water supply is open to it, and that looks like it comes from right there. That's make sure that one is open, along with that one as well. So those two, are exactly just like this and this, but they're 2-inch pipe or 1.5-inch pipe, right there in your jockey pump.
And what do you mean by valve alignment?
Okay, so when you verify your valve alignment, you have to verify that the valves the ones that should be open are open, and the valves that should be closed are closed. So that's how you check your valve alignment. Make sure that the water flows in the direction you want it to flow.
want it to.
So, for example, this one you can tell that it's open. Because you don't have, even though it's not monitored, you have your what's called here your paddle. This tells you which way it is. So if it's parallel with the pipe, it's open. If it's perpendicular, it means it's closed. On these valves right here, these are OS and Y valves. If they're open like this, if you see the stem sticking out, that means it's open. And if you see the stem inside, that means it's closed. So that's just how you check the visual alignment. This one is OS and Y. This one is a butterfly valve. It has your paddle. See your paddle here is a little parallel with the pipe. That means it's open. Same thing with this one here. See how it's got your little directional flow right there, your little arrow.
Mm-hmm.
If it was to be, across like that, that means the valve is closed. And same thing with this one right here. See how it's open? That's how you check your valve alignment. So the only two valves that need to be closed is your bypass, because we don't need this. We only need this when we test the fire pump, which we're going to do today also. But I'm going to show you how to do the monthly run first.
You said two, so this one and
Yeah,
what?
this one and then that one over here, these two.
And this one.
So those are the only two that need to be closed. Everything else needs to be open. There's three things that have to be to these valves right here, and I made a note of it last year. They have to be either locked, sealed, or supervised. If they're locked open, you got to have a lock of the chain, make sure they're open. That means nobody messes with it. Supervised, you can see how the tamper device on this one right here, and then this one is locked also. So this lock should actually be on these two here, because these aren't monitored, which means they're not tied into the fire alarm system. So if I was to take this tamper valve off and close this valve, you'd get a signal at the fire alarm saying, hey, something is wrong down at the fire pump room, come check it out. And that's basically it.
And this is a semi-annual or?
No, so it's an annual test, monthly run. The monthly run is 10 minutes on both fire pumps, or both pumps. Even though it's considered a jockey pump, it's considered a fire pump. And I'll show you guys how to do that one. That one, you verify that the valves are open. So make sure that one is open, see how the stem is all the way out. And just,
You talking about this one?
Yeah, this one right here first.
Oh, this one.
And then that one right there. So just make sure it's open. Can you verify it's open?
Yeah.
And that's it. You make sure that the valve, we test it so that it starts automatically. we put it to manual, and then we push the button, which,
Oh, it's just a switch. You turn it over
Yeah.
to manual and then
it turns on, right?
Yeah, it'll
So-
turn on as soon as you switch.
so we make sure that the valve is up, and there it is. Then we set it back to auto, and then we turn our fire pump off. It's already loose. And then you slowly drop the pressure, and you just write down at what pressure it starts. So you bring it down. Done because it's got a lot of water in there. So it started at 125. That's it. And obviously, the city's giving you about 150 pounds of pressure, so you gotta drop it all the way down until it starts. And then once you hear that clicking, that means this fire pump's trying to start, but it's not starting because I turned it off. Right?
So what pressure is it started?
125. Then you put the cap back on. And instead of using a bucket, you can set up a hose and get a hose bib and go straight into the sump, and just when you open it up, just watch it drop, and that keeps us from having to fill buckets up. I'm pretty sure Janitor's not gonna be upset. I'm gonna be.
Yeah, we got a drain over
We got
here.
a drain?
And then it stops at.
And then it stopped at 150. Thanks. Once you know those two pressures, then you turn it off. Turn this fire pump off. Come over here. Unplug our tamper device. Just basically pull it out, so you have an alarm now going on.
Is there a trick to unplug it, or you just?
Yeah, just pull it out. The way you gotta
Okay.
reset it, that's the trick. We'll give you a screwdriver. Can you pull that off, please?
So much pressure.
And then you close that valve.
Close this one.
Uh-huh. And that's your discharge. The reason why you shut that valve is because this fire pump kicks on at a higher pressure and it got more horsepower than the jockey pump.
Right.
So you don't want to water hammer the system. You don't want it to surge up. You might break a fitting, you might pop a head. You don't want to cause any damage when you're just doing a test. Hard work, right?
Is it going the right way?
Yeah, you're going right.
It's a gate valve, huh?
No, that's a butterfly valve.
Butterfly.
Yeah, these are the gate valves right here. Yeah, it's just the angle.
Yeah.
Maybe you can reach better, right? Yeah, there you go. So once you know that's shut, make sure your suction valve is open. All right, you do the same thing over here on this side. Start the fire pump. You do a manual start with that valve shut. All you gotta do is just make sure the fire pump starts, let it run for a couple seconds, and then turn it off. What we're looking for on the fire pump, make sure we got water on the packing pad. So I'll adjust it like maybe a little bit less on that side. pressure relief valve right there. Make sure that valve is always open and it's dropping water. So when that's open and water is coming out, there's no pressure buildup in the pipe. So that's what that's for. You basically sit here and let it run for 10 minutes. You can monitor it. I'll adjust this packing down and drop a little bit of water, a little bit less water right here inside. Yeah, I'll just do the water. What the steer recommends is 1 to 2 drips per second.
So this side is pretty good, right?
Yeah, this side is good. Yeah, that's perfect right there. And then same thing with this, we'll take this cap off here.
So that right there, how long do we run it for?
10 minutes.
Okay, so we're just like simulating it, but when we
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
do the test, we run it.
You just run for 10 minutes, you know, you mark down your start time. We started at 9:45 and 9:55 you shut it
Okay.
down.
And with the jockey pump, that was the same thing. We should
Yeah,
have
10
run that
minutes.
for 10 minutes. Okay.
Yeah, but that one you don't need any water dripping, you just need it to, you know, make sure that it's on and make sure you have pressure, adequate pressure all the way to the top.
So we can like deadhead like that and it won't overheat
The jockey
or
pump?
nothing?
The jockey pump, yeah,
Okay.
that's fine.
And this one, the relief valve, that's enough flow that it won't overheat either.
Exactly.
It just okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Then same thing with this, you just drop it slowly. But like I said, the city's giving you about 150 pounds of pressure, so you just watch where it starts. See, 125. I would actually let it time out. And then water down. Pretty simple, right? Crack that top. So when it does that, if it starts back up, that means the pressure is not equalized between the
Right here?
Yeah.
Open it?
Just crack it, yeah. Press a little bit more. And then what that does is equalize the pressure, and it's just gonna stop. A little bit more.
Keep going.
That's good. We'll close it back up now.
Close it.
So what I would do, what I recommend is it has that pressure. While it's running, open it up all the way and then just let it run. And then when you're done with your 10 minutes, then you turn it off.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so we gotta run it for 10 minutes in manual, and then when you let it run.
It
like,
doesn't matter,
automatic.
automatic or manual, as long as it runs 10 minutes a month. That's it.
Okay.
So
Well, you're supposed to test both the manual and
yeah,
the
you
auto
test both.
every
Make sure
time.
that it starts on auto and it starts on manual. Making sure that they're starting.
Okay.
And then you can let it run in manual, you can let it run in auto. It doesn't matter as long as for 10 minutes.
Okay.
Alright. You guys want to go through it one at a time? Think you got it? Or want me to go through it one more time?
Well, I got it on video, so.
Alright.
But yeah, I mean, and that's for the monthly report, right?
Yeah, that's a monthly. So you write down your suction gauge and your discharge gauge. That's this one here.
And so, what's the purpose of it? Is to make sure the pump.
Doesn't seize during a real emergency.
Okay.
It's just an electrical pump. You know,
Uh-huh.
you want to make sure that it's always lubricated,
Uh-huh.
the water's always running. Make sure you have power to it, and just make sure that it runs
Right.
in case of
okay.
emergency.
Okay.
Because in case of emergency, it's going to run. You know. You
And
have-
if you never exercised it, it might not run, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. You got stuff in there that'll see, just like your car engine.
Right.
If you don't
Yeah,
turn it
yeah.
on, yeah,
Totally. Okay. I just wanted to like know why we were doing it.
it'll rip seals. You know, and you get oil leaks, whatever. But it's an electric motor. You also have another PM. I think it's a semi-annual PM, but that falls on you on just lubricating the Zerk fittings there and here, and that should be in line with your monthly or semi-annual PMs of your fan motors. It should be on the same schedule.
Yeah, you might want to write that down, James.
You guys do the ventilation PMs here or no?
I don't do.
You guys, no PMs here? Yeah. You guys need to get a PM program going.
So it needs to be twice a year?
Yeah, twice a year.
Okay.
And all you're doing is just checking lubrication. You just put one squirt, whatever the PM on your motor calls for. Exact same thing.
And you said you guys do that at the same time normally as the dampers? The smoke
Well,
dampers?
the fan motors. So I don't know how often you guys do your fan motors. You know, you got your fan.
Oh,
your
okay, that's what you're saying. Yeah,
You got your big fans, right? Your intakes or exhaust,
Right.
or however big they are. You know, most buildings have the big ones, and you have a small motor like this running the fans.
Okay.
And you know that's however you change the filter. I think what is it every.
But I
3
mean,
years.
that's not, obviously that's not connected to the fire
No.
requirements or
It's just-
whatever.
That's just recommending.
Exactly, because
Yeah.
I mean, what if you do all
So
the
you do it at
motors?
the same
Yeah,
time.
exactly. You know, say
Okay.
say you have 15 motors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have degrees. All you gotta do is come squirt.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, I got my fire pump, which is exactly the same motor as a fan motor, the big one.
Okay.
And that's how it rolls.
Do you know what this thing is by any chance?
Yeah, that's your casing relief valve. So this pump, it's a centrifugal pump, so it needs water for it to move water. So it's kind of like if you're sucking through a straw, the same purpose. While you're sucking, the first part you suck is nothing but air. That's what this does. So this will open up to relieve all the air, so you get positive suction.
Okay.
That's called your air casing relief valve.
Okay.
And it only if it starts spitting up air or water, that means this valve right here is closed because it's sucking air. And you sucked it dry, and there's a chance that you might spin it out of control. Because just like a straw, I mean, when you suck, the first part is nothing but air, and then you get fluid moving. Yeah. So that's what that's for.
Okay.
So, and then there's no PMs on that one. If you ever see it spraying something, shut it down because this valve is closed. You might spin it out.
Which valve?
This one, your suction valve on your fire pump. All right, any other questions on the fire pump?
I think that's. Oh, so with the jockey pump, I noticed when you had it in auto or whatever, and it was like, it kept kind of bumping on and off.
So what that means
Is the pressure settings right on that? Or?
So I'll check the settings right now. I'll
Okay.
open it up. And this is your mercury switch here. So if you guys ever work on this pump, there's a little vial in here full of mercury. I really recommend that you don't break it because mercury is kind of toxic.
Right.
Yeah. So if you look at the settings right there, it's set to start at 150 and stop at 170. See that? See the two? Sorry,
No, I can't. Oh, okay.
you're right there.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
right.
that's it. Yeah. So the bottom fork starts at 150, and the top one is at 170.
Okay.
I mean, it's like timer, right? It's like.
No. It's just a mercury switch.
Oh.
So once the pressure, once the
Oh
demand
yeah,
has
it's a
been met-
pressure.
Yeah, exactly. It'll turn off the fire
Okay.
pump. This one doesn't have a timer on it at all.
But and so that way that it was bouncing like that.
That means the little valve was just bouncing.
The vial.
in the
The little
vial.
vial.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was bouncing in the switch, and that's it.
So is that something wrong with the switch, or that happens a lot?
It happens a lot.
Okay.
It's just meeting the demand. It's like right at the demand, right at the cutoff, and it's
Right.
just going back and forth.
Okay.
And as you saw, it just turns off by itself.
Okay. Yeah, because we had one of those fuses blew like a week or two ago when we had a guy out here, putting in all these copper lines.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if it, if that was maybe causing it to blow
the fuse? No,
if it's
no.
like keeps bouncing on and off like that.
No, it was just probably a power surge or something.
Okay.
So these are new. These copper lines are
Yeah.
really new.
Yeah. I think the other ones were either busted or I wrote them up last year.
Yeah, it was like galvanized, which I don't think
Was the
was
right
that
line?
galvanized,
Yeah.
so they wanted to put the.
And these are called your sensing lines, by the way. That's what it is. It's a 1/4-inch sensing line.
Like these, right?
That's it. That's your fire pump sensing line right there. And then this one is your jockey pump sensing line. It goes down there.
Can you just just go over one more time how many valves needs to stay open and which valves needs to close?
So here's your Merkwood on this one. You set at 140.
So that'll cut off at 1.
They start at 140.
Oh, okay.
And it turns off at 160. And you do have a timer here set for 10 minutes. So max is 10 minutes. Alright, so let's go over the valves one more time. So you have 6 valves that should be open at all times. You have your city bypass or your city, this is called your backflow meter. And you have your city valve, comes around. You have your suction valve on your fire pump. And you go back up, you have your discharge valve on the fire pump. And then you have your city bypass or your fire pump bypass is open. That's 6 valves. Then you have your bypass flow meter. These 2 valves should be closed. And then you have your 2 jockey valves down there that should be open. That's your jockey discharge. This is your jockey suction.
Okay.
Total of 8. So out of the 8 valves, 6 should be open and 2 are closed.
All right.
And then you always want good flow on your packing glands. It is there. And then your discharge or your suction side gauges, and then your discharge on that side. Yeah, and then if you see water running like this, is perfectly normal. Yeah, you want that to keep the packing lubricated. If it starts spraying water or it's getting out of control, then I'll adjust it to have the same drip as the other side. And then if you notice it starts getting hot while you're running, then you could open it up just a little bit more.
Like where do you?
Adjust it right here.
I mean, where do you feel for getting hot?
You check. If you get a thermometer, you have a digital thermometer.
We have one back in the shop.
So you just bring it here, and you just basically. Shit, I thought I forgot.
But you can probably just put your hand on it, right?
Well, of course, but for safety reasons, use a thermometer.
Okay.
Check the shaft right there.
Where?
The
Oh,
actual
inside.
shaft. Yeah,
Oh,
inside.
okay.
Yeah, the actual
I thought you
shaft.
just meant like the casing.
You can do that. Yeah, you can do all 3. So you do there,
Uh-huh.
the shaft. You do your casing, then you do your outboard shaft.
I see. Yeah, I definitely don't want to put my finger in.
Exactly. That's what it is. It's, safety. That's what you
I
do.
got you.
Same thing when you do all your, your checks on your panels, which is I think every yeah. So what it is, say you have a water surge or something happens that there's demand for the fire pump.
Right.
It'll run for 10 minutes and then it'll turn off. City of San Francisco doesn't want you to come and manually turn off. So for example, you live in fucking Hayward, and if in the middle of the night it comes on for whatever reason and there's actual no real emergency, they want you to come in and manually turn it off.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
So they don't want a 10-minute time?
No, no,
Okay.
no.
Why? That doesn't make any sense.
They want you to come and turn it off manually.
But what if you're not there? Or like.
They want you to come in and turn it off manually. Which is,
That's their
bananas.
code.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
their
yeah.
code.
Yeah.
But our code for San Francisco
Yeah.
is 10 minutes. And it has a timer.
No, they don't. San Francisco take the timer off. State of California wants a timer in there.
Okay.
So remember,
I got it
the
backwards.
cities could only go stricter than the California code. They can't go lighter.
I see.
So if they want it stricter, they made it stricter.
Yeah.
So California code says that you have a 10-minute run timer on there. So if it does kick on for whatever reason and it's not a real emergency, in 10 minutes it's going to shut off and
Right.
restore everything back to normal. City of San Francisco wants you to come, turn it off manually, and find out why it started.
So then, is that timer legal?
Well, right now they haven't sent you a letter, so you guys are still legal.
I see.
So if once Dave gets the letters from the city,
Then you got to remove that
they gotta
timer.
remove the timer. You gotta come over here. And
Then we have
program
to
it.
come
Exactly.
check it out. Okay.
So, and that just started happening about a year and a half ago. So they're
Interesting.
not, it's taking time for it to get all the buildings.
That's odd, especially since we're like, we got like drought conditions. Yeah, that's weird. It's good. Good to know.
All right, that's basically, you guys want to run through real quick?
Yeah.